Welcome back to the second stage. I'm Christopher Wood with TGRC, and today I have with me
Adrianne Hensley.
Adrianne. You've done a little bit of everything with us. You've been on stage, you've been on the board, you're a theater mom, you've volunteered.
Yeah, I've kind of been in all spots of TGRC, and I must say it is humbling. On stage, off stage, you learn something. On the board, you're constantly learning, but it was a great experience, and I loved it. So,
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Um, right now, Aquila and the Bee is being put together, and I mentioned you're a theater mom. I'm a theater dad, so I relate. But your daughter is starring. She's got the role of Aquila. How has that been being a theater mom who has acting experience herself? Are you coaching her? Or are you trying to stay out of the way? Or
so I gave her originally. I gave her some input. I was like, Miss Robin knows her stuff as a director. Listen, I was coached under her for A Raisin in the Sun. So you're gonna have to go hard, and she's gonna push you. Um, I love her. She knows I had my crying days when I didn't learn those lines. And I told Trinity the first thing I said was, "You got to know those lines." So she has been working hard. I've been trying to stay in the background and just be a mom. So I'm just letting her enjoy her experience right now.
love that. So don't say just being a mom. That makes it sound like that ain't hard enough as it is.
True.
So, but
That's
I understand. So, what is it like having shared this director? It's like you said, you did Raising the Sun with her, so you know how Robin is, how she works, how she'll, as you said, push you, and you know what that final outcome, final product is, and you know, wow, what has it been like to see your daughter go through that same process?
I love it. I love it. I mean, Trinity's already done stuff with TGRC and stuff with Reesville High School. But this is her first actual starring role. And I know that was my first starring role, and I know how Miss Robin pushes you and pushes you, and it's amazing to see the transformation. Even the small stuff right now, I know it's gonna shine on stage when it finally comes together. But I love it. I love it.
Okay, good, good. And this, you talk about the small stuff. It's amazing how many details there
Mm-hmm.
are, whether it's, you know, which way you're looking or how you turn, and uh, yeah, so it's a lot. And Robin does a great job of being able to visualize and see all that, and
Absolutely.
coach, not just to know your lines,
Mm-hmm.
but to capture those and really put it forth. So
Absolutely.
I am looking forward to this show. This is one of the few shows I haven't really been involved in myself. So just doing the publicity, so it's always kind of fun to go and kind of be surprised.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to be surprised that it's a great performance, but I am looking forward to seeing it come together for sure.
I'm definitely excited. I can't wait.
Um, so you were on the board. You've been a volunteer. You've done all this stuff with TGRC, so you know the organization kind of from the inside
Mm-hmm.
out. What is something you would like to see TGRC do as far as something different to grow, to expand, to reach new boundaries?
Well, I must say that I love that we're trying to head in the direction of reaching more audiences now. Um, Starting when we worked on A Raisin in the Sun, and then we worked on the play left my mind last season.
Steal away.
Still away, and now of course Aquila. And I'm not just saying that for the roles of African Americans being in starring roles, but I just mean any diverse community. It opens it up. It opens us up to feel welcome to audition, and welcome to be a part of TGRC. And I love that. I love where it's heading. I want it to continue. I hope that it continues. I hope that people come out to see Aquila and the Bee, because the numbers will talk. The more that people come out to the shows, the more that we can do shows like this. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. So, obviously, I was involved with Raisin. I stage
mm-hmm.
managed that with you, and that was just 3 years ago. And it's hard to believe it took us 35 years to do a
Absolutely.
black theater show.
Mm-hmm.
Right, 20% of the population of Rockingham County is African American.
Mm-hmm.
We should serve that community. Right, we are try to represent and support the whole county.
Absolutely.
Um, when we did the show, the numbers spoke. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, people came. not just audition. We had 2 casts for that show, so we had so many people audition, which is rare. And then we had packed house every single show. It was one of I think the show at the end of the season, which is our big show, had one more ticket than Raisin. That's how big it was. So that's fantastic. Not only because ticket sales are important when shows need to be productive because we have to pay for them because we're a nonprofit, but like you said, we're trying to reach a new audience, and not just the African American audience, like everyone. So I do believe at this point having a diversity play is part of TGRC's programming now.
Absolutely.
That's something when the committee gets together to look at shows, that is something that is talked about. We need to make sure we're representing, whether
Absolutely.
it's having a show in a spot that features and allows starring roles assuredly for minorities, or whether it's just having shows that represent a larger population.
Correct.
And I'm with you. I love the fact that has been a thing. I know DEI has been in the news, not necessarily in a positive way lately. We support that here. We think diversity and inclusion is super important. The theater family that you get when you do a show and how y'all come together, and that kind of inclusion and being a safe space is so important for everyone. And especially we have a lot of students
absolutely
that do shows with us, and nowadays it's hard to find a safe place sometimes for our kids.
Especially in today, where we are today. We'll just say that a safe space is important, and I love that for my own child, to have theater as her safe space. I love that for myself. Even having that sense of when a play is over, we're always like, whew, I'm so glad the play is over, but you're also missing your theater family. Like, it's something about going every day with this group of individuals and you get closer, especially small plays. I love small plays. So I am excited to see how this takes off for us. I would love for the community and other communities beside us to support us in this endeavor. I know other communities have probably been doing it before. Rockingham County is a big deal right now for TGRC to dive into this, and I love it. I love it for us.
I do too. I'm tickled that I got to be a part of that groundbreaking with Raisin, and I'm glad Robin has come back year after year. And,
absolutely.
She's had been a strong influence for a lot of our actors and staff and everything. So that's been,
as well as her husband for set building. Like, he's amazing in himself. So it's been really great.
If I could just lock him into the warehouse and say, build all the sets and then you get out, that would be fantastic.
And he loves it. So
he is great at it, and he enjoys it. He does a great job. He cleans up.
Yes. That's important.
I've never seen, no offense to all of our set builders, because I know it's a lot of work and it gets to be messy, but I've never seen someone clean up during the set build as much as he does. He'll sleep every other night, and I'm like, okay, like, I appreciate it, but I'm like, I understand you got things to do. Like, I don't mind running a broom either, but it's impressive how much he gets done. And
listen, it was amazing to see. During Raisin, we actually got to have practices at the warehouse while he was set building, while the set was, and it was great because you got to experience the set before it actually went to stage. Whereas sometimes we have the move-in day and you have to wait. So we got to experience that at the warehouse. I loved it.
And it was neat to see the rough at the warehouse and see the finished product on
absolutely
stage.
It was rough.
That's the same thing.
Rough.
Yeah, it was walls. It was walls, and they were kind of propped up, but they were there. Yeah, but
us trying to go in and out of those doors, it was the perfect place to practice, though. So yeah,
it was great, and I think I would love to see us do more of that in that space if we can, for sure. So
yeah.
Okay, so again, thank you for coming and talking to us. Is there anything you'd like to say to? I didn't tell you this before because I don't want to intimidate you. We do have 25 subscribers.
Okay.
So this is going to be seen. What do you want to say to those 25 people about TGRC and theater and life in general?
Listen, TGRC is always looking for volunteers on stage, off stage. Come join the crew. It is a wonderful experience. If you have had your back against the wall about stepping into something like this, just come on. I promise you're not going to be turned away. Audition for a play, be backstage, learn how to stage manage. It's a great experience, I promise. And you'll love the family that you make. And don't forget to come out and see Akila and the Bee.
Yep, March 28th, 29th, and 30th. Welcome back. My name is Christopher, Theater Guild of Rockingham County. Today I have with me Danny Tanner. Danny, tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, my name is Danny. I have been involved with the Theater Guild for about 8 years now, and I'm currently studying psychology, working on my bachelor's degree. We'll finish this May, finally, and just work full-time, school and theater on the side.
Love that. Love that. Psychology and theater, I bet those go hand in hand quite a bit.
Absolutely. Studying people's behavior and watching different emotions and behavior come out on stage as well is actually pretty exciting to watch. So
nice. Probably helps you as a stage manager some too, I would think.
It absolutely does. Being able to notice people's behavior on and off stage when they're practicing, rehearsing, and moving forward and watching if there's anything wrong, what's going well, all of that.
Nice. Okay, so I mentioned stage managing. You've done a few shows with us. You're currently producing one too, and you've been on stage.
Yes, yeah. So since April will mark 8 years that I've been with TGRC, I am currently in my 21st production within 8 years. 16 of those have been with TGRC, where I've worked. I started out as just an actor on stage, auditioning with shows, to working my way towards an assistant stage manager, then to stage managing, and now producing. So
sweet. So,
trying to do all
director and
all the things. Hopefully, that would be the great thing. Would be I would love to direct a show eventually. It would be great.
All right, keep a lookout for Danny's directorial debut. Might be soon. So you've done all these different roles. Do you prefer to be on stage in the spotlight? Do you prefer to be backstage and more on the tech side? What's your preference?
So that's a great question. Originally I loved being on stage. I loved being able to portray characters and roles, and then especially musicals. I love singing. But after assistant stage managing, working backstage, and then stage managing Descendants recently back in October, I love the back end and the behind the scenes stuff as well. The organization with having to manage and all the aspects that go in with that too. I love both. I mean, I love performing and being on stage and working with the cast in that capacity, but I also love working with others behind the scenes too. So.
Gotcha. So you can be in the musicals and you can stage direct or direct the straight plays.
Yeah.
That way you get them all.
Yeah, you get everything.
Yeah, I like that. So you're one of the things we didn't mention. You are also on the board.
Yes. Yeah.
TGRC board. You've been a committee chair for a couple of years, and now you're on the board. At large.
Currently, at large member on the board.
Position. So they're all important, but there's a lot of different titles that all run together to me. So, what's it like being on the board? Like, it's one thing to be behind the scenes of a show. When you're on the board, you're behind the scenes of the whole organization.
Yeah.
What has that been eye-opening? Has it been a challenge? Has it been pull your hair out?
No, no. It has been eye-opening. It's been not so much challenging as in terms of helping make decisions for the organization and moving forward, but more so trying to find my place within that. Because a lot of times when you think of board of directors, especially with a specific organization such as theater, what do I bring to the table? I don't have a musical background, a theater degree, but what I kind of bring to the table is my management background, being a general manager for a corporate chain before, and a leadership mentality with various roles that I've played throughout my adult life, and trying to find where I can fit in with the board and offering my ideas that can help best move the organization in the right and positive direction.
Okay. You also, as you mentioned before, have 8 years of experience with TGRC.
Yes, yeah.
So you've seen things from the outside. So you know things that you're like, you've seen things that why is it like this? I would love to see this change or improve. And now you're able to at least have that conversation and learn more. Okay, this is how we got here. Maybe it's, oh, it should be that way. Maybe it's, okay, but now we can change.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's, I say this all the time. I'm in sales. So when I'm talking to my customers, I always, mention, if you're stagnant, you're dying.
Yeah.
That's the way business is, right? You can't
Yeah.
just stand still. And theater's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does the theater itself and the shows and the audiences and people grow up and everything's always changing, we have to be adaptable and flexible. We're not the same organization we were 37 years ago.
Yeah.
We're not the same organization we were 10 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have plans to be someone different in next 3 to 5 years, right? So that's important.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where a group of people with all different backgrounds can come together. And I mean, that is art, and that is theater, is coming together with our own personal experiences and being able to mesh them together and synthesize them to produce what we have currently and then moving forward in the future. So
yeah, absolutely. So talking about, mentioning moving forward, what is something or some things you would like to see the guild do, maybe redo, or something they have never done before?
Let me get my list real quick.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I would love for us to put on more productions throughout the year, to be more year round than just our standard 4 or maybe 5 productions. That way we can have more flexibility of different styles of shows, whether it be, we can do more kid-centered stuff, we can do more straight plays where those that do not care for singing on stage or in front of people, they can, but they enjoy acting, they can come out and do more of just a play. And we can do more fundraiser style type things where we can do a Christmas special or a summer special, just something small to adhere to our community as a whole, and try and expand and not seek, what is the word I'm looking for?
Strive.
I don't know. Adhere to the entire community, the entire county, instead of just, okay, we've got a kids production here, we've got the play here for this group of people, and just kind of hit all different groups.
Absolutely. When we are a community theater,
Yeah,
and we need to represent the entire community.
Yeah.
And that brings me into the next topic I want to talk about anyway, which is it's in the news now, but not in a positive way, but diversity and inclusion. That's obviously something that's important to us as a guild. How do you see that as part of what we need to be doing, and what we're doing well in that front, and where we can do better?
So in our last committee meeting with our diversity, equity, and inclusion meeting that we had, one of the things that we kind of all agreed on is that we, as the guild, we do a very good job of being inclusive when people come and audition. We don't turn away anybody from an audition, regardless of their age, their race, their gender. I mean, nothing. We allow any and all to audition. Obviously, with casting, certain shows have very specific roles that have to be filled. But I think in terms of our diversity, there is a group that we may not be reaching. Could be the middle-aged, college-age group. Harder for us because a lot of our shows happen when students are off to college, you know. But I personally feel like we do a very good job with being diverse with our casts, as best as we can for who comes out to audition. I feel like we are very fair, and we have equality when it comes to our show selections, our casting procedures. I mean, our patrons as well, for our members and our patrons that come out. Obviously, we're not going to turn anybody away at the door if they want to come see a production.
Please.
And then being inclusive to all, for whether they want to help backstage, they want to audition on stage, they want to audition and be on stage, they want to be on staff, all of the above. So,
absolutely.
I hope I answered that question.
I think you did.
Okay.
I think you did. So, No, we just spoke with Adrianne a minute ago, and we were talking about diversity
Mhm.
as far as, raising the sun, breaking that barrier, and starting to do some more
Mhm.
plays that represent the African American community and have some more diversity there, and trying to reach. And of course, there are plenty of other communities and groups, not just racially, like you said,
Mhm.
that,
Yeah.
we're trying to reach. So um, we are fortunate to have a good influx of young people
Mhm.
and students, and the high school theater teachers are involved, so they kind of help funnel students in to get them involved and excited about it. And it's cool to see them grow up on stage and then have adults come back. But keeping people and always having new people come in, whether it's on stage, off stage, in the audience, it's super important.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Now, when you mentioned how many shows you've done, they weren't all with TGRC. So, what other shows have you done elsewhere, and how did that come about?
So like I said, I'm working currently on my 21st production in 8 years, which seems like a lot. And it's overwhelming at times, but it's great. It's so much fun. I've done 16 of those productions with TGRC. The other 5 productions, one show was with Greensboro Performing Arts. They do, if you will, like a summer stock every summer where they kind of open up their auditions, not to just their students at their school, but I was able to work uh, Reverend Shaw from Footloose.
Nice.
I got to work that production. And I am currently working on my second production at the Barn Dinner Theater, where it's so much fun. It's working with pretty much the same cast this go around as well. And it's definitely a different feel because the stage is in the center of the entire audience.
Okay.
And it's smaller productions that are put on, 8 to 10 cast members at most, and there's a lot of crowd work as well with it. So very different from what TGRC does, where we are strictly on stage for the most part, and we don't really break that fourth wall
Not
a lot. And then I've also done assistant stage managing with Community Theater of Greensboro when they performed Urinetown that Justin Bulla directed. So it was that was a great experience, and I think it's important to yes, having loyalty to the organization that you serve on the board for, you're a member of, but also expanding outside of that, because then it gives a good diverse selection of how other organizations run, how their auditions processes are, how other performers work that you haven't worked with before. So it gives you a plethora of ideas and direction that you can go with theater.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we always excited when we have actors from other regions, Burlington and Greensboro come and do shows with us. So I think it's fantastic. And like I said, Justin Bulla directs at CTG often. He's our artistic director. Obviously, he does a show with us every year, and he's involved in all the shows that we do. But then he still manages to take time to do some shows elsewhere. And I think that's, you're right. That's important to have that experience and to see things from different perspectives.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's really all I have. I wanted to ask you. I didn't tell you this before. You agreed to meet because I didn't want to scare you, but we do have 25 YouTube subscribers.
Okay. I didn't know if this was like a punked situation and Ashton Kutcher is hiding somewhere. For those that know the reference.
But what would you like to say to those 25 people about TGRC?
So if you're just a subscriber and you're just a patron, but you have that longing and you want to audition and be on stage, definitely come out and audition. Just because I've been doing theater for almost a decade now and I've performed in numerous shows, I still get nervous when I have to audition. I still get nervous my first time at a rehearsal having to get up in front of a new set of cast members. But it is so much fun to work with other people, because even though you may do the same show multiple times, I've done Footloose twice now with 2 different production companies. No cast is the same, no staff is the same, no experience is the same. That's what I would say. Like, we're always looking for more people to come out and audition and give new blood and new life to theater. So
yeah, so if you're watching, come to the theater.
Yeah, come on out.